So we've heard a lot about people trying to bounce back from attack. There's a lot of stuff going on in the industry. How do you feel that Commvault position themselves to aid customers in that space?
It's a great question, Gareth. When we spoke to many customers, when it comes to a cyber attack, 50% of them, they use some sort of DR or some sort of recovery solution. But however, rest of the 50%, they don't really know until cyber attack hits how they can recover their data. That's where we kind of came up with the idea clean room solution, helping customers to recover the data, not only recover the data, but also help them on periodic basis, look at whether you have clean data and make sure you can bring up not only the one of the databases or the VMs, but bring all of them as application form and validate it and provide the evidence for you to provide evidence for compliance team to look at, make sure this testing is done periodically. The clean room differentiates itself with the 3 different use cases. One, they can do testing. That's what I talked about. Not only today on day of attack, but the idea is you do it more and more often as needed. So you have, based on your compliance requirements, I know we'll talk about DORA later. Based on the compliance requirements, you test it, provide the evidence. That's number one. Number 2 is forensic analysis. Whereas when you have say, indicator of a compromise, how do you make data available for your security team to go analyze it? So we do provide a way to recover the data of point in time, allow security team to go analyze it. Third, when the attack happens, you have clean data. The next best thing that you could do to reduce the recovery time, you can make a production recovery available for your customers. They can use it in a limited manner to get the business up and running. We provide all of these capabilities under Clean Room, able to recover the data in the cloud, elastic in choice, recover the data, have the customer to try all 3 different use cases for their recovery needs under when there is a cyber attack.
Brilliant. And that's something I've taken away from some of the sessions today. Failure is an option. It's a good option. And I think as kind of people within the industry, we've always been fearful. We've got to have green ticks. We've got to get it right first time. And again, that's one thing that really impressed me about Clean Room is sometimes you want to see that bad thing happen because that is what will happen during the chaos. How do you escape that chaos? And how do you get back to production as quickly as possible?
So there are 2 things, right? One, the escaping the chaos, right? Is actually, you better be prepared by testing, right? By testing means not just actually I bring my data, it takes 2 days to recover my applications. That's not what you want. What you want when incident happens, how fast you can recover your data. You need to be able to provide a predictable recovery time. That's number 1. Number 2, this is on the recovery side. But what you can do proactively, you can actually be ready for that incident, right? Because they say that it's a threats are in dormant state for more than a week, right? In this case, you want to make sure a backup is clean from any cyber malware, right? So in this case, Commvault provides a threat scanning mechanism which allows you to scan your data on a periodic basis and to make sure that you have clean data in place. For example, Commvault can construct a timeline on when the backups are done. When there is a compromise, you can go back to the previous version and mark it as clean. But at the time of the recovery, you can just go and say, recover my data. It goes back to the clean data that you marked in our index. You can bring the data back. So with a predictable recovery time, you can get your data, clean data, up and running. So that's actually help you to plan for the unexpected.
Brilliant. So it gives customers confidence and it gives you a fast recovery window.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Exactly. We also use part of the scanning mechanism. We know the threat vectors are dynamic, right? It could come actually in any different manner, meaning that recently I'm reading an article where it says that the malware can be polymorphic, changing its signatures over time, maybe every day, every 4 hours. But the traditional signature mapping is not going to help. Commvault have integrated with the threat scan predict a third-party engine which can identify such AI-powered malware that present in your data, that can identify and say, hey, there is an indicator of compromise. So you can actually go back to the clean data, the previous version of the clean data. That's where actually Commvault looking to integrate. Commvault is actually looking to use the AI technologies and integrate in any possible ways in terms of threat prediction, in terms of actually predictable recovery time, in terms of providing operational efficiencies for customers to be able to use the technology to the needs of theirs, the recovery out, right? So your data is the heart of the business. Having a clean data is important to have your continuous business, to have customers bring their business back online in a few minutes.
Awesome. Yeah, you're getting excited about all these new features such as clean room. You've been making a lot of acquisitions as well. And again, the feature releases have been going absolutely wild. In the last kind of, dare I say, even months, is there anything that's kind of stood out to you that is your kind of most impressive or favorite thing you've managed to deliver?
So there are a lot, but Gareth, since you asked me about the top one, let me talk about the one. Recently, we have Active Directory Forest Recovery is coming as an early adopter. Active Directory is more commonly used most of the organizations in the world, right? As actually it's whether it comes to credential management, whether it comes to having the directory access, LDAP access, things like that. Active Directory is integral part of the business. A compromise on Active Directory can compromise your entire business. It means you need to make sure that your Active Directory backups are clean, you can recover them. Whereas a large shipping company had attack actually on the Active Directory, they compromised the whole thing. It took actually more than 6 months to rebuild their businesses. So the Active Directory Forest Recovery really help you to recover your entire Active Directory forest when there is a cyber attack or hardware failures and things like that. But Active Directory recovery is not easy one, right? Because Active Directory could contain multiple domains. They can create multiple forests. It can be deployed in multiple locations in the world. So what Commvault has done differently is that Commvault can allow you to visualize your entire Active Directory topology, allows you to pick domains or domain controllers of your choice to recover them. We don't stop there. We have actually each of the steps, what we call as a run book, which requires to multiple steps that you have to follow through to recover your Active Directory. Actually, when we create the run book, we provide option for administrators whenever they need to interfere, whether they need to provide permissions for scanning and things like that. We allow administrators just play in their input so that it can continue. All 20 steps of Active Directory is completely automated. It can be recovered. It can be recovered in much more automated manner. Like I said, Active Directory is the key to the kingdom. Having that Active Directory is backed up, ability to recover them, the entire forest is the key. It would be a miss if I don't mention that Active Directory operational check is already integrated part of the clean room. Meaning that when you do the clean room recovery, the first thing we do is Active Directory recovery. And after we recover, we go and check whether operationally Active Directory is functional. Okay? Then we go with the rest of the recovery in place. So that feature is I'm so proud about, and it's going to help our customers to make sure the top most critical workload is protected and you have an automated way to recover them.
Brilliant. That's great to hear.
Yes. Thanks. That was most excited about. More feature enhancements coming along with it, but this is one of the top features that we are releasing part of this our Shift event.